Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Wealthapreneur podcast. I'm your host, Pradhan.
And I'm your host, Ashish Dakal.
This is our first ever episode for this podcast. So I just want to introduce you guys to what this podcast will be about, what we're going to be talking about. But before we do that, let me introduce myself and tell you guys who I am. So my name is Sogat Pradhan. I currently live in South Dakota. Came from Japa, Nepal. Life was very difficult in Nepal. We didn't have a lot of things that we have right now. Used to live in a refugee camp, so we didn't have enough money. We didn't have enough resources or anything like that. But thanks to the program that brought us to the U.S., it has helped a lot, and it has showed a lot of opportunity for us. And we're chasing the opportunity here in the U.S. So I'm currently a real estate agent, and I'm also in the entrepreneurship field, also pursuing my business degree as a college student. So I'm really happy that we came to the U.S. and life is very much better than what it was back in Nepal. So
Hey everyone, my name is Ashish Dakal, and I was born and raised in refugee camp as well. And I want to talk about my life story in the refugee camp as a 5-year-old and an ethnic minority as well. So obviously, growing up in the refugee camp, my parents were working labor, menial job, earning barely anything, which led us to facing poverty, lack of resources, and also lack of hospitalization as well. And ever since I was a kid, I just lived in a poverty life, and Sogat as well, and we just didn't know that if we even had a future. But luckily, with IOM, a program that is nonprofit foundation that brought us to America, we want to thank them very deeply, because if they hadn't brought us to America, then we wouldn't, be here. And it's just, I just, pray to God every single day, and I'm very thankful. Coming to America, obviously, as an ethnic minority, my first year living in America was very hard because, I didn't know a lot of things. I got bullied in school for not knowing the language, and, it just sometimes when I tried the food, I didn't like the food. And it was very hard for me and my family. And I arrived back in 2008, 2009, when there was an economical crash in the housing arena as well, and just economically. And it was very hard for my parents to find an occupation that fit them pretty well. And so, but luckily we survived. But during that time, I found something that, I didn't see, back in Nepal, which is opportunities. Something that I found and I seeked. And as I was a 5-year-old, I pursued my first opportunity in the Boy Scout field. I joined the Boy Scout, and from there I learned to become a leader, right? And I learned to become a leader, and from that I had an exponential growth. And now, I'm in this place where I can diversify my hobbies and interests, and one of those is entrepreneurship. And so, in this podcast, we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship. We're going to be talking about real estate. And right now, I currently go to the U of U studying entrepreneurship, and also pursuing my goal to become a real estate agent as well.
right. So yeah, like I said, I'm a real estate agent already, and he's also becoming a real estate agent. Real estate is something that we are really interested in, and I we want to own some real estate as well in the future. So that's something it's our goal for the long term. So real estate is a very big field as well. So we're gonna be talking more about that in this podcast: how to make money with real estate, how to flip houses, and how to wholesale and everything like that. We're gonna be talking about that in this podcast to help you guys out. And not only that, we'll talk about other businesses. We're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about investing, maybe into stocks, crypto. We can talk
Yep.
about entrepreneurship, anything that's related to entrepreneurship, because that's our passion and that's the field we're in. And I
And
think
this
it's
is what the podcast is
yeah,
about, right? Too,
right.
right? So, God,
Yeah.
so
So name just reads wealthpreneur. So it just means
yeah,
wealth and entrepreneur. So that's just the podcast we're making, right? So we want to help you
yep.
guys out. If you guys are listening to the podcast, we want to give you guys value. We want to give you guys education, knowledge that you guys already don't know that we have. So we will also want to bring in guests to help us out with this podcast so that you guys can learn from other guests that has already experienced things that you want to learn, such as investing, real estate, business, anything that you guys are interested in learning. We're going to bring out real estate investors. We're going to bring business owners and entrepreneurs in this podcast to help you guys with your journey?
Yeah, so we just want to help you and pretty much help you risk mitigate. Pretty much, we want to help you take less risk and get more reward. Because in the field of entrepreneurship, everything is hard, right? Nothing is easy, and you have to move from your uncomfortable zone to being comfortable in your arena. Whether you're a real estate agent, whether you're you know investing into something, it's hard. Life is not easy, and entrepreneurship is not easy, right? And we as
Right.
entrepreneurs obviously bleed every single day. And what I mean by that is we don't have a stable income, and that makes a big difference. And your income can fluctuate depending on your work and the work effort that you put into your business, right, on making it better and making it number one. So we want to help you. We want to bring in people that have already experienced the struggle, and have put in the hard work into their business that you're currently pursuing, right? And so, I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. And I just want to I want to add this, that entrepreneurship is a journey, and you can't give up when you pursue this field of entrepreneurship. But once you do build your number one business, once you do find your passion, your business will give you the freedom of time, right? In the future endeavors, when you do build your business to number one sector. So, just keep pursuing entrepreneurship. I know entrepreneurship is hard, but we're here to pretty much share our experience of our expertise, such as wholesaling, being a real estate agent, investing, and just really, we want to teach you guys the fundamental of taking less risk but more reward, and just enjoying the journey in general. So I hope you guys enjoy the podcast of Wealthapreneurs. And yeah.
Yeah, so I want to add one last thing to the thing that you just said. Entrepreneurship is a journey, and you have to grind, you have to hustle. There's no easy way to make money as an entrepreneur. That you have to have a passion, you have to have a goal, you have to work towards it. You can't just sit down, be lazy, and not do anything, and just assume that you'll make money easily. Also, entrepreneurship is not just about money. Like I said, it's about having a vision, it's about having a goal, and being passionate about things that you do. And you have to grind, you have to hustle, you have to be out there, you have to be talking to new people every time. My story, I used to be a shy introvert, didn't used to talk to anyone, but now look at me. I'm a real estate agent. I talk to random people, I talk to strangers like they're nothing. I don't really care anymore, right? I don't really care. I'm not a shy person anymore. I talk to big business people. I talk to anyone now. I always dial my phone, talk to random people, ask them if they want to sell their home. So it's been something that was holding me back as an introvert and a shy person. But now I overcame that, and I'm really happy about myself now. So that's what you have to learn about with this journey. So that's why we want to teach you guys with this podcast to help you guys become the best person that you want to become. And yeah, we really hope that we can provide you value with this podcast.
And also, Sogat, like, your network is your net worth, right?
Right.
So as an entrepreneur, you always have to network. There's no other option that you can choose, because in business, everything is connected together. And if you don't connect those puzzle pieces together, then you're losing out on that bet, right? And as an entrepreneur, that's a necessity. Like, for example, being a real estate agent, right? You have to talk to so many people, talk to clients, and that's how you generate leads. That's how you generate leads, and that's how you become successful at the at the field of becoming a real estate agent.
Yeah.
So your job is to network as an entrepreneur. And guys, don't be afraid to go out there and hustle, because the harder you work, the luckier you become, and the luckier you become, the successful you're going to become. And so don't be afraid to go out there and talk to people and just enjoy the journey, because at the end it'll all be worth it. And that's the beautiful journey about entrepreneurship, is that you get to meet people, you get to pretty much build a system where you have friends around you who are successful and who want to do great things. Because entrepreneurs, what do they do? They solve problems. And you as an entrepreneur should be aiming to solve problems every single day, right, Sagat?
Yes, absolutely. He is 100% right. And another thing is that if you're afraid to talk to people, why would you be afraid to talk to new people, right? So it's just there's this human, go talk to them. You're not gonna die. They're not gonna bite you, right? It doesn't matter if it's real estate or anything. Especially us entrepreneurs, if we fail something, we have to get back up. We have to grind. We have to learn from that mistake and start something better, become better. No matter how many times you fail, you have to get up. You have to become better. You have to tell yourself that you wanna achieve the goal that you want to go for, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to
Mm-hmm.
grind, you have to grind. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's basically what entrepreneurship brings. And this podcast, we want to talk to you guys about, like I said, entrepreneurs, business, investing, real estate, anything that can help you guys out with your journey. And we're going to bring you out guests to give their knowledge to you guys, to help you guys with your journey, so that
Yeah.
you guys can become a better person, become a better real estate agent, entrepreneur, business owner, investor, whatever you guys want to become. And hopefully we'll be able to provide you enough value for that.
And also, Sogat, I want to mention one more thing. Most of the people who live in America, who are multimillionaires or millionaires, they are not from here. They're from
Right.
out of the countries, right? And so, what is your excuse, right? And the reason I bring this point is because everyone can be successful and everyone can be wealthy, right? But if you have the right desire and if you humble yourself and just keep pursuing the thing that you're doing, anyone can become wealthy. So
Yes.
in this podcast, the reason why this podcast is named Wealthapreneurs is wealth and entrepreneurs. We want to mix those two words together so that the main theme is being wealthy and also being an entrepreneur who solves problem. So we
Right.
just we just want to help you guys and help ourselves as well, because we're going to be bringing in guests and we're going to learn so many things that we possibly didn't know, right, Sogat? So
Yeah,
please
absolutely.
enjoy this podcast, and I'll let Sogat talk as well.
Yeah, so if you are just beginning your journey as an entrepreneur or trying to own a business but you don't know where to start, I would suggest you read books about business, about entrepreneurship. It's
Yep.
gonna give you a lot of knowledge. My favorite book is Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's one of my favorite book by Robert Kiyosaki. It's about real estate investing and just building wealth. You read that book, read any other book that's gonna help you with your goal, with your entrepreneur journey. So also listen to podcasts. It's definitely going to help you guys out. Instead of listening to music, listen to podcasts. I don't really listen to music anymore while I'm driving. I listen to podcasts. I
Yeah.
listen to audiobooks. It really gives a lot of knowledge and helps you, think more about yourself, think more about the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Assis?
yeah, totally. Yeah, like podcast does really help you because it honestly, when I was like, so good, when I was 10-year-old, I wanted to become a pilot, but as started figuring out, like, okay, I do not want this because I want more, I want better for myself, because you and I want to help, right? We want to help, people who are struggling. And if you want to do that, you got to become a little bit of wealthy. When I say a
Right.
little bit of wealthy, you got to become wealthy so that you can travel the world and have time, because time is everything, guys. Without time, you know, you can't pursue too many things. And if you want to become, if I wanted to become a pilot, I would have to invest 40 hours a week, and I can't become an entrepreneur because I'm investing my time into becoming a pilot and just doing my occupation, right? Living that nine to
Yeah.
five, right? And
Because
that's something that, go ahead.
the end goal is freedom, right?
Yeah, the
Freedom.
end goal is freedom, and that's something that we want as an entrepreneur. And when I slowly started adapting, when I started bird dogging for realtors, I knew that entrepreneurship was the way, because you can make money and also you can help people and you can change lives. And so that's why I want to become an entrepreneur. And I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. And yeah,
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for listening to it. We'll talk more about it on the our next podcast. I think we'll talk about real estate on our next
yeah,
podcast.
we'll talk about real estate wholesaler versus an investor.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you're trying to become a wholesaler or an investor, if you guys don't know what they are, we'll teach you guys about that as well, so you can learn about that. And if something that if that's something you're interested in, you can definitely pursue that goal as well. But no matter what you're doing, you have to have a passion, you have to have a
Yep.
vision. And if
Yep.
you fail, get up, try again. We have
Yep.
tried many things and some things didn't work, so we're trying another thing. So
Yeah.
try something that works for you, and if it doesn't work, try a new thing.
Yeah, but the end goal is to obviously have the time and the freedom, and maybe you want to spend your time with your family, right? And so, in order to get that freedom and in order to be successful in our entrepreneurship, you have to work hard and just pursue one thing, stick with it, and just grind, 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 grind. And the more work you put into that job, then the harder you'll succeed and the luckier you'll get. So enjoy this. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, the introduction of this podcast. And so we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Thank you guys.